Right now, I'm standing outside of the Coweta County Newnan jail to show my support and my sympathies for those who were arrested yesterday at a demonstration. Nazis came into my hometown, and we wanted to express our voices to oppose it. We gathered to assemble peacefully, and were met with riot lines and with cops in gear with guns in our faces with absolute militant force, and I saw peaceful protesters brutalized and dragged away to jail for no reason in particular other than to intimidate us. It seems like we were being pointedly targeted. It was absolutely terrifying. It felt as if we were supposed to be scared to use our voices while Nazis celebrated behind us.
I'm out here to support the arrestees and the people in Newnan who were terrorized yesterday by a racist police state.
What's been the reaction from the police today during this vigil?
Oh, well, we came up and there was, I can't remember, I counted it, probably upwards of 8, at least a half dozen squad cars circling the entire area with their headlights on their brights, clearly trying to intimidate us.
Listen to what I have to say.
Are we being detained?
I asked you a question first. Would you like to answer my question? Does anybody want to
No,
talk to me?
I don't want to talk to you.
Okay. You're welcome to stay here. If you get in the roadway, if you bother the pedestrians, if you get onto the parking lot, we're going to arrest you, okay? You don't have a permit. You don't have a permit for this. Listen to me. Listen to me, because I'm not here to have a debate with you. This is per our sheriff.
Can I ask you a question?
No, so let me finish first. You can ask me whatever you want.
Why did you randomly target citizens
But if you come up
yesterday?
into the parking lot, if you come up into the
Why did
parking
you
lot, you're
violate
not gonna hear me.
civilians'
If you come
civil
up into the
rights
parking lot,
yesterday?
You're going to be arrested. We're going to leave you alone. We're going to
Is
starve you out.
it
You
the
can have your
policy
voice.
of
You can have
Coweta
your
County
voice on
to
your social media.
violate
Is this public
citizens?
You
Is
can
this
stay
public
right
right
here,
here?
but you have to gather here on a permit. But we're going to allow you to stay here.
Is this public?
Do you understand that?
Are y'all ashamed of the activities of police yesterday?
No, we're ashamed of the activities of Antifa yesterday.
The officer that was speaking to us said explicitly that he's ashamed of Antifa yesterday. So he's not ashamed of Nazis coming in and shouting racial slurs and promoting genocide. That's not what he's ashamed of. He's ashamed of people who were exercising their rights and are rightfully calling out a grave threat to our society. I think we need to talk clearly about what happened yesterday. Yesterday, the neo-Nazis exploited the laws of our state and our country and our Constitution, and they were able to use the Newnan Police Department and 42 other federal, state, and county and municipal agencies into a proxy army for their racist violence. The Nazis didn't have to get their hands dirty. They got to march around with shields and clubs and semi-automatic rifles, shouting racial slurs, and the anti-racist protesters were right out of the gate treated as the threat. This is not about free speech. I think if free speech means that we need to institute martial law, then we need to reevaluate what we really mean by free speech, because we can't have free speech if we don't have freedom.
I was with the protest, and literally before we even started marching, before we even started speaking, almost as soon as we started to gather, police, very militarized police with rifles, started shoving us and pushing us back and yelling at us and grabbing people out of the crowd and throwing them on the ground and arresting them. It was crazy, and they continued to do that throughout the march. It really felt like they were trying to intimidate us, they were trying to scare us, they were trying to get us to disperse and to not exercise our free speech. And it was crazy. I mean, I've never seen, I had a rifle in my face pointed at me, and I felt like I was on a video game or something. It felt so unreal. I was just like, what? How is this? Both of my grandfathers fought Nazis, and I have 2 small kids, and I don't want them to have to grow up and fight Nazis.
We're out here in support of immigrants, Muslims, trans people, people of color, anyone who's been threatened by these fascists. We wanted to make sure that they're safe. I was out here with a friend from Charlottesville who experienced some of this terror firsthand, and she told us, it's a very real physical threat. These white terrorist organizations with a genocidal agenda actually tracking down and harming people of color. I came out and I was leading some chants on my bullhorn messages such as no hatred, no fear, immigrants are welcome here, and Black Lives Matter, and saying that Nazis weren't welcome in the city of Newnan. And and I was a target as a result. These were not messages that the police wanted to hear. I was torn from the sidewalk, dragged into the street, thrown onto the pavement forcefully, and cops arrested me, charging me with pedestrian blocking a roadway. It was shocking. You know, it was shocking that they were targeting peaceful human rights activists. It reflected the reason we were out there. In fact, you know, we want to challenge not just Nazis, but all manifestations of institutional racism and white supremacy. And we saw that in particular, people of color who were out there demonstrating against the Nazis received even worse treatment.
My name is Hector. I was arrested yesterday.
What was your experience like in jail?
Definitely hostile the entire time. The staff kept threatening to place myself and my fellow arrestees with white supremacists. You know, I moved here when I was like 17, so I lived in Newnan for like 3 years. I don't recall there ever being an open Nazi presence in Newnan, but having it yesterday was very telling when it comes to how the police handled it. You know, I am a veteran. I'm a veteran of the 10th Mountain Division, which ironically was a division that the Army created to fight Nazis in the Italian Alps. The police were out in full force. There's no question about that. They were out with Humvees, military-grade vehicles, full body armor, full kit. I saw, you know, pretty much every officer in body armor had enough rounds, like a full combat load, which is like insane unless you're facing off against armed opposition. I saw a lot of my friends get thrown to the ground, people get trampled, assault rifles being pointed at people holding signs and banners. I was actually wearing this shirt, and my arresting officer saw it, and he'd been eyeballing me the whole time, but it's got a Klansman with a crosshair on it, and I guess he didn't take too kindly to it. I got brutalized by cops, not Nazis.